The Times have just stated that Spurs want to sign Dominic Solanke for £65 million and they also want a left-back and a winger before the transfer window closes. The Times have also stated it is expected that Richarlison will depart the club to pay for the Solanke deal, and it is also expected that Manor Solomon will leave the club on loan this summer. The Daily Telegraph have stated it is expected that Oliver Skipp is to depart the club on loan this summer, and Spurs remain interested in Pedro Neto, but no official bid as yet.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs women. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with some official news released by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club on Wednesday. Alejo Véliz has joined La Liga side Espanyol on loan for the 2024-2025 season. Signed from Rosario Central in August 2023, the striker made his debut the following month and registered his first goal for the club in December 2023 against Brighton. To date, Véliz has made 8 appearances in our colours and spent the second half of the previous campaign on loan with Spanish outfit Sevilla. Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has stated that Tottenham are pushing to get the Dominic Solanke deal done. Talks are underway with Bournemouth. Dominic Solanke has given the green light to Spurs as negotiations are ongoing to find an agreement. Tottenham want Solanke, as exclusively revealed last week. The Times newspaper have also reported on the possible deal for Dominic Solanke. They are stating that Tottenham are confident of signing £65 million Dominic Solanke. The forward scored 19 league goals for Bournemouth last season and has a £65 million release clause, which the North London side may have to fund by selling Richarlison to Saudi club. The Times have stated that Tottenham Hotspur are increasingly confident of ending their search for a striker by signing Dominic Solanke before the start of the season. The forward has given the green light to a move after enjoying his best campaign last season when he scored 19 league goals for Bournemouth. He managed a combined 9 league goals in 2 previous campaigns for the club in the Premier League. Tottenham, who begin their campaign away to Leicester City a week on Monday, would break their record transfer fee paid if they met Solanke's £65 million release clause, and the deal could be partly funded by Richarlison's potential exit. The Times newspaper have also stated that strikers that have been considered by Tottenham Hotspur since Ange Postecoglou arrived at the club have been Dominic Solanke, Ivan Toney, Victor Gyökeres, Lois Openda, Jonathan David and Gift Orban. The Times have also stated that Spurs also want to sign a winger and a left-back in this window alongside Dominic Solanke. The Times have also reported that Manor Solomon is expected to leave the club this summer on loan, and Richarlison is expected to move to the Saudi Pro League. He has now changed his mind about moving abroad from England. The Daily Express have also reported on this story. They are stating that Tottenham plot more signings after Dominic Solanke as Spurs confident of £65 million deal. Tottenham are expected to have a busy end to the summer transfer window. Tottenham Hotspur are reportedly eyeing up a double swoop in the transfer market once they secure the services of Dominic Solanke. Solanke is said to be on the verge of completing a £65 million move to the North London outfit. The Daily Express have stated a left-back is believed to be on the capital club's radar after Ryan Sessegnon and Ivan Perisic were let go earlier on in the window. Spurs are also said to be targeting a winger, with Ange Postecoglou not currently content with his options in attack. A report has been published by the Daily Telegraph and they are stating that Tottenham Hotspur remain interested in Wolves star Pedro Neto, but are yet to make a bid for the winger. And Oliver Skipp is expected to leave Tottenham Hotspur on loan this summer, and he is drawing interest from the 3 promoted clubs, Southampton, Ipswich Town and Leicester City. Various reports in Italy are stating that talks continue, negotiations continue between Tottenham Hotspur and AC Milan for the transfer of right-back Emerson Royale. It is expected that this deal will be done in the coming days. The Daily Mail have just reported that Tottenham believe that they can bring in Bournemouth striker Dominic Solanke before the start of the season, with Richarlison expected to book exit with Saudi Arabia. The 26-year-old has a punchy £65 million release clause and is keen for a move. Richarlison has been sounded out by the Saudi Pro League clubs, including Al Ahly, and among forwards considered by Postecoglou are Ivan Toney and Lois Openda. HITC have reported that Tottenham Hotspur are still interested in Amir Richardson, while Premier League rivals Everton, Brentford and Leicester City are also in the mix for a potential £8.5 million deal. Football.London have just reported that Leicester City are now in talks with former Spurs forward Steven Bergwijn. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let me start by saying that there is now only 22 days left of the summer transfer window. Spurs have got a lot of business done so far in terms of outgoings, but now all eyes on the incomings. Spurs have a lot to do in the next 3 weeks, in my opinion, and that starts with signing a striker, a recognised striker to come in at Tottenham Hotspur in this summer transfer window. Of course, the main reports at the moment are all about Dominic Solanke, £65 million. Apparently, Spurs are in talks now with Bournemouth about this potential signing. I said, I recorded a podcast, a Spurs Chat podcast with channel regular and a good friend of mine, Melvin from Malta, on Wednesday evening. And I very passionately said on there, and I completely stand by it, in this window, I think that we need a couple of game changers, statement signings, whatever you want to call them, impact players. I expect that would probably be a better term, impact players to come in this window. If I had my choice, Ivan Toney, Eze would be my choices. I think that if you're signing, a duo like that are going to come in and have a real impact, are going to have that big difference in your team, I think that a lot of fans would feel very, very confident about what we can achieve next season. I think Ange Postecoglou would certainly feel the same. And I feel like that is the level of player that we need in this window. Game changers, impact players, statement signings, whatever you want to call them. I think that would be a real difference. A couple of them at least in this window. I said on that podcast that I believe that Spurs need around 6 players in this window. Is that realistic? Probably not. Should it be realistic? Yes, it should be. However, I think that we'll probably end up with 2 or 3 players. But my biggest worry at the moment is about the depth. The depth that we have in the squad. Players like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg have already gone out the door. There is now talk about players like Solomon going out the door, Skipp going out the door on possible loans, from very reliable sources and journalists. Fabrizio Romano has, of course, stated that we are just now on the verge of signing Dominic Solanke. That's going to be an interesting one. Of course, he had a very, very decent season for Bournemouth last year. But the big question at the moment amongst the whole of the fan base is, can he do it again in the Premier League? Can he do it for a much bigger club? Can he take Spurs to that next level? Because, of course, it is all about progression. It is all about club direction. It is all about ambition. We haven't won a trophy in so long. I know Ange Postecoglou is trying to, continue this major rebuild that we're going through. But I think it's all about signing the right players, taking the club in the right direction. So I'm not totally with the signing of Solanke. If you said to me at the start of the window that we'd be signing Dominic Solanke, I don't think I'd have been that happy. When I look at what he did last season, I think it's very, very impressive. Will he do it at Tottenham? That is the big question mark. I'm not so sure. He could be a real hit at Spurs. But then, of course, it could go terribly wrong. And my worry is about the depth. Again, if Richarlison was to go out the door, and I have said, a number of times on the podcast that Richarlison has been very wasteful, but I do think we need options. We definitely need a couple of options going forward. We do not want to be in that same position we were last season when it derailed our season when we had a couple of injuries to key players. We just need that depth within the squad. I'm all for giving the squad players and the youngsters, the development players, game time, but I do feel like we do need a couple of experienced players within the squad. Yes, we do have some experienced players within the squad already, but I feel like we need a couple more to take us to that next level. And bearing in mind as well, I feel like the squad is a lot thinner than what it was last season, and we are playing at least 8 more games in the Europa League. Of course, we all hope that we go further on in that competition. We hope that we go further in the competitions in the domestic cup competitions. FA Cup, we only played 2 games last season. League Cup, we were out in the first game. We were out in August. We only played 1 game in that. So hopefully we'll go further. So I do believe that we need a little bit more depth, because a couple of injuries to this squad could really derail us again like it did last season. Spurs apparently want a left back and a winger in, have reported the Times. I'm all for it. I tell you what, I do really believe that we need the depth. Hopefully we will get a couple of experienced players in the door. I really like Premier League proven players, because they've been there, they've done it. They know exactly what the Premier League is all about, and that's probably why I'd go down the route of signing someone like Ivan Toney and Eze. Apparently Spurs don't want to sign Eze because they don't want to pay that amount of money as one lump sum. They would prefer to pay it over in instalments, which I think is a big shame, because someone like Eze, I'm a huge fan of Eze, have been for a number of years. And in my opinion, and I've said this before, we should have signed him when he was a QPR player, when we had the chance, and when we were interested on a number of occasions. But this transfer window is going to be an interesting one. We have 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks to go. All eyes on the club now. All eyes on what they are going to give Ange Postecoglou in terms of the tools for the upcoming season. Because let's face it, the Leicester City game away, takes place Monday week. So it's not that many days away, not that much time, before the 2024-2025 Premier League season starts. So let's hope it is a very busy 3 weeks, and let's hope that the Emerson Royale deal gets done as well in the coming days. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.